Nice launch trajectory and countdown net. Pad is clear.
10, 9, 8,
Launch auto sequence has
7,
started.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go for launch.
Vehicle is supersonic.
Stage separation confirmed. Dragon, separation confirmed. Stage 1 is transonic. Landing legs have deployed. And Falcon 9 has landed.
Good morning. You're looking at Falcon 9 behind all the fog, standing ready for liftoff from Vandenberg Space Force Base's Space Launch Complex 4 East at 7:19 a.m. Pacific Time. Hello and welcome to the webcast for SARA 1 on behalf of our customer Airbus. My name is Andy Tran and I'm a quality engineer here at SpaceX. The SARA 1 mission marks SpaceX's 25th launch of the year, and for those of you following along, you know that we launched our latest Starlink mission from Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center in Florida about 24 hours ago. And following this morning's launch, we are expecting to launch a third rocket later tonight from Pad 40 at Florida's Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. Now, at the request of our customer for the current mission, we won't show any second stage views, and we'll be ending our coverage early with the first stage landing about 8 minutes into the mission. Now, before we get any further, let's take a moment to learn more about our launch vehicle. Falcon 9 is our two-stage rocket. It stands about 70 meters tall, roughly the height of a 20-story building. The bottom two-thirds of the vehicle is the first stage and the primary part of the rocket that gets reused again and again. Today will be the third flight for this particular booster. And at the bottom of the first stage, there are 9 Merlin engines that will get Falcon 9 off the ground and up to the thinner parts of Earth's atmosphere. The two stages will then separate from one another. The second stage continues to orbit while the first stage makes its way back down to Earth for its landing attempt back on land. So what you're seeing on screen is landing zone 4, which is pretty close to the pad that it's going to be lifting off from. If successful, today's launch will mark the 125th recovery of an orbital class rocket, including both Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy boosters. As for the second stage, it will ignite its single Merlin vacuum or MVAC engine about 2.5 minutes into flight. It's this engine that will take the SARA 1 spacecraft to its intended orbit. And for our payload today, it's safely enclosed inside of the 17-foot diameter payload fairing, which is the structure at the very top of the rocket. This protects the satellite from aerodynamic heating, loads, and contamination during ascent. Once we reach the vacuum of space, we will then jettison the fairing halves while the second stage continues to orbit. Our payload today, the SARA 1 satellite, was designed and built by Airbus. Upon its completion, the 4-ton satellite was transported from Germany to our launch site in Vandenberg, California. Here's a closer look at the 25-day journey. And after that long journey, the SARA 1 satellite is now safely integrated at the top of Falcon 9. The next major milestone involves the transporter erector, or TE, which is the truss structure next to Falcon 9. In preparation for TE retraction, the TE clamp arms right beneath the fairing payload, the payload fairings start to open up. Now, we do have a bit of fog in Vandenberg, which is pretty typical for Vandenberg at this time in the morning. So I don't think we're going to be able to see the clamp arms opening, but they are opening right now. And after those are fully open, that structure next to Falcon 9 will recline away from the vehicle in preparation for liftoff. The transport director also routes the vehicle's fluids, power, and telemetry umbilicals from the ground systems to the rocket and satellites until Falcon 9 goes internal on power and clears the pad. It's also what rolls the vehicle out to the pad and lifts it to that vertical launch position that you see on screen. So if you look closely, you can see that we are indeed reclining away from Falcon 9 right now. So we are just over T-minus 3 minutes and counting. All systems so far are go for an on-time liftoff. The range is green. The weather, despite the fog that you see on screen, is also green. And the vehicle and payload continue to be healthy.
Go bleed verification.
If for some reason we are not able to launch today, we do have a backup window on Monday at the same time. And as the clock continues to tick down, it is also worth noting once again that at the request of our customer, we'll be ending the webcast after the first stage landing attempt about 8 minutes into the mission. You can see that there are some clouds starting to form around Falcon 9. That is normal and expected for us at this stage in the countdown. Today's launch is the second of our triple header. We do have another launch about 14 hours from now. But that one's going to be on the East Coast out of Florida.
Stage 2 locks look complete.
So with the call that stage 2 liquid oxygen loading has been completed, that is all of the propellant that is needed for today's mission. That is now loaded onto Falcon 9. So we are pretty much ready to go for liftoff about 90 seconds from now.
Falcon 9's in startup. Falcon 9's in startup.
Now that we're in startup, both stages are now beginning to pressurize for liftoff.
LD is go for launch.
T-minus 30 seconds.
And that is the final go for launch. We're just under 40 seconds away. Let's listen in to terminal count.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 15 seconds.
Falcon 9 is configured for flight.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. T-minus 15 seconds. 2, 1.
Falcon 9 is configured for flight.
10, and 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. And liftoff.
Stage 1 propulsion autonomy.
Vehicle pitching downrange.
power and telemetry nominal.
Vehicle is supersonic. Max Q.
Invax chilling.
The next event, which is STS-1 or second engine start 1, or excuse me, the next event is stage separation, where the two stages will separate from one another.
Invax chilling.
The first stage will perform a flip to make its way back to our landing zone, and then we'll start with STS-1, which is second engine start 1, where that single Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage will ignite and continue to carry our SARA-1 satellite into orbit. For today's landing, the first stage will, after it performs its flip, will perform a boost back burn. And then after the boost back burn begins, we'll have fairing deploy.
Stage 1 boost back burn is starting. Fairing separation confirmed. And stage 1 boost back shutdown.
Vehicle trajectory nominal. Vehicle trajectory nominal.
Stage 1 entry burn has started. And Stage 1 entry burn shut down.
Stage 1 FTS is saved.
Stage 1 is transonic. Stage 1 landing burn has started.
Stage 2 FTS is saved.
Terminal guidance.
Landing legs have deployed. And Falcon 9 has landed. Landing operators proceeding to 11.100 on LZA. And Seco.